All right, we're back on Central Valley Talk. My next guest is a local author of, she calls them mathematical adventures. It's a way for your child to read and also learn some math concepts. It's an interesting idea. Virginia Pilegard from the Bass Lake area, but joining us here in our Fresno studios today. Thanks for coming down.
Thank you. It's fun to meet you. You know, you've had coffee with me for years in the morning.
I have. Was I dressed?
You were dressed very nicely on morning TV. I won't say whether I was or not. But
well, I've given up the morning TV and I'm doing the afternoon TV now. But thank you for coming down. So I've never heard of your books. Tell me what a mathematical adventure is.
Well, it's a way to entice a child to find the beauty of mathematics.
I'm still looking for that beauty because I was never that good at math.
You know,
your books weren't around when I was young.
That's it. That's the only problem. You and I were probably both struggling with that in those days.
I was more English than math.
When I began to teach, I had just taken a class at Fresno State called Math for the Elementary Teacher. That doesn't sound very exciting, but the prof just loved his subject, and he tapped his chalk on the blackboard and showed us the beauty of base 10 and base 2 and base 5, all the little secrets that made math come alive for me. And so when I began to teach, this was years ago when we had a little more freedom, but I would move math to the first thing in the morning when most teachers teach reading, and would have all kinds of things to touch, you know, and try to make it real life. And when I decided to go back and do some more study at Fresno Pacific and began to study mathematics at a graduate level. And I wrote this story as part of my thesis project because I was very concerned. I'm an auditory learner. You can tell the auditory learners in a classroom because they're the ones that are talking the whole time the teacher's talking. And in fact, my high school geometry teacher sent a note home to my mother and said, "I will pass, Virginia, if you'll promise she'll never take another class from me." Now, when my first book came out, it's Informal Geometry, and I would love to take it back to Sierra High and go,
here.
Yeah, I did it. But he was gone already.
Yeah. So that one book turned into a whole series.
Yes, it did.
Wow.
Yeah, well, not real quickly. When you write, you send it off. I send off the manuscript, and then you receive a card that says it's not suitable, and so you buy that publishing house. You put a little comment, poor taste, and then you send it out again, and again. And again, getting the picture 18 times.
Until you find the company that says yes.
Until I found a company that says yes.
And that was Pelican Publishing.
And that was Pelican. And, I was raised in the hills, up above Friday at Hildreth. And my big journey in life had been to Fresno to go to college. Yeah. And I basically never been out of the state. And so, once with some friends to Las Vegas to stand up with them. But pretty provincial, pretty O'Neill's, Hildreth, Fresno.
Got it.
Okay, so the publisher flew me to Chicago for the American Book Expo. And he took me out to lunch, and he said, as many books as you will write about the little boy who's able to solve problems that the adults can't figure out, set in China, I'll publish.
Wow.
Yeah. So 8 books later, I said, okay, I'm tired of writing about China. I've kind of exhausted the inventions for Tang Dynasty, and it's about all that's left is gunpowder. And
so you came up with a new idea.
Yes. Teachers had said to me, write a book about counting change. And the monetary system for medieval China is really complex. and the monetary system for Mexico is wonderful, right on base 10. And
10 pesos to the dollar.
actually, I think it's 12 and a half when
Oh,
I was
is it
down
up to
there.
that now? Okay, all right.
Yeah, I was just there last week, and I think it was 12 and a half. But still a very nice.
Good rate, yeah.
Yes. Anyway, I found about a Hispanic folk hero, Ratoncito Perez, is the tooth mouse, and he serves the same purpose as the Western Tooth Fairy. And so this story is about an apprentice tooth fairy that can't tell change apart very well. She has trouble telling dimes from nickels, and she's embarrassed to say anything, and so she remembers, okay, I can count 100 pennies, and so I'll take the dollar and pennies. But 100 pennies is very heavy for a fairy to carry. And she just runs into a terrible disaster. And so Grandfather Ratoncito Perez and Miguel help her and teach her how to differentiate between American coins. And she makes up a little rhyme that will stick in children's minds and help them recognize and count coins.
Does it involve chiclets?
No.
I've been on that cruise to Mexico.
Oh, how funny.
Anyway, the book is bilingual.
Yes, it is.
So English and Spanish.
Yes, it is.
That's a first for you. So is this going to turn into a series like the other books did?
Well, we'll see. I have a couple of other ideas, a couple of manuscripts under the bed that if this is successful, I certainly will.
Okay. Well, I'm sure folks want to know where they can find these books. Petunia's Place, you told me?
Petunia's Place carries my books.
Bullard and West, I believe, in
Yes.
Fresno.
Yes.
And also online?
You can find them online in a number of online venues. And, of course, my website,
Which is?
VirginiaPilegard.com.
VirginiaPilegard.com. Nice meeting you.
Wonderful.
Wish
to
we had
meet
more time.
you.
I think we could fill a whole hour talking about these books.
Thank you.
But unfortunately, we're out of time. Virginia, thank you so much.
Okay.
All right. Another great local author you met right here on Central Valley Talk.